welcome to our first Lent reading of 2021. It seems that Christmas has only just finished, and yet here we are at Lent. And so we're going to go through the next few weeks with 40 readings leading up to Easter Saturday. We're going to have the Monday to Saturday, Sunday, no reading on Sunday. We all have our services in whatever format they are currently taking place. As we do that this year, we're going to go through the Old Testament. There's 39 books in the Old Testament, and we're going to go through one each day in order. I'm going to give a brief outline and then pick a key passage or a key verse. And so it's no surprise that today we begin with Genesis. Genesis, the name Genesis means beginnings, and that truly is what the book's about. The first book of the Bible, it sets the foundations for everything to come. It introduces all the main themes of God and sin and salvation, and the main characters that will be referred to throughout Scripture of Adam and Eve and Satan, Noah, Abraham, people like that. Now, we've been doing a series on our morning services on Abraham, so hopefully you know something of the book of Genesis. Hopefully if you've been watching, you'll know that the book has 50 chapters, and it splits in two halves. Chapters 1 to 11 covers 2,000 plus years and about 19 generations, and it has great themes of creation, fall, flood, Babel, things like that. And then from chapter 12 to the end, the rest of that book contains great people, and it really covers about 350 years, 4 generations, all from the same family: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and then Jacob's sons, principally Joseph. The call of Abraham is to leave a pagan place and follow the Lord to Canaan, the promised land. The end of Genesis ends with his descendants, Abraham's descendants, going off to Egypt under the leadership of Joseph. And we'll come back to that tomorrow with the next book. But to read today, I just want to read the very beginning. It may be a longer read than most days. Just to read the beginning of the book of Genesis, the beginning of the Bible, the beginning of the creation story. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from the water." So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. And God called the vault sky. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And God said, Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear. And so it was. God called the dry ground land, and gathered waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plant-bearing seeds according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate day from night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years, and let them be lights in the vaults of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, the 4th day. One of the foundational principles Genesis wants to set out from the start is that there is one God, the Creator. You might read that account and think, sun and moon created on day 4. Well, when God said let there be light, where was the light from? When God said there was evening and morning, how were days governed? When plants were created on day 3, how did that happen when there was no light from the sun? Well, one answer is that God is God, and he can do as he wishes. But let me suggest that in putting the sun and the moon on day 4, there is a message about one God. Genesis would have been written down at a time where the nations had many gods, and the two primary ones for most nations were the sun god and the moon god. And they all had their different versions, but they were focused on the sun and the moon. If the sun and moon had been written into the story early on, day 1 for example, they would have been seen as at least gods of lesser gods serving the great God. But putting them in day 4, the emphasis is they are not gods at all. They are just part of creation. There is only one true God, and everything else is his creation, including the sun and the moon. Have a blessed day.